Welcome back to the Derek Smith Spiel for episode 4. Today I am with my brother from the same mother, Dylan Smith. Dylan, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Anything out of the ordinary worth mention to start us off?
Nope.
No?
No. Work
Perfect.
on YouTube videos.
Now, speaking on your YouTube, I guess go into that. Go into YouTube. What do you do on your channel?
Well, I own Dylan Smith Outdoor YouTube channel. I hunt and I fish, and I just do everything in the outdoors.
What's your favorite? Do you prefer hunting or fishing?
Whatever one's in season, I'm going after. If
Whatever's
I'm not hunting,
in
I'm
season.
fishing. If I'm not fishing, I'm hunting.
But you don't prefer one over the other?
No.
What is your favorite animal to hunt?
Turkey.
Turkey. Over deer season?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Because I can actually get them like I'm talking to them. Deer, I'm waiting. And you can talk to deer and call them in, but I'd rather pursue a turkey and go after it and talk to it than wait.
You just think it's more... You feel like you're doing more...
It's funner.
Turkey hunt. Funner's not a word.
It's more fun.
It's more fun. Entertaining. But you've got to get up super early for turkey hunting.
I like getting up early.
I do not like getting up early. I'll do it to work out, but I need to know I'm getting something if I'm getting up early. I'll get up early for breakfast, a workout, not for the chance of getting a turkey. You know what I mean?
You're gonna have fun doing it.
What?
Said you're gonna have fun doing it.
What makes it fun? Go into that.
Well, I just like going after. I don't really know. It's just exciting to hear them gobble and go after them, and then when you finally shoot one, to eat it.
Go through like the average day of turkey hunting. Is there any prep that goes into it?
Well, wake up at 4.
4.
Yeah, get all your stuff ready.
Do you get the stuff ready beforehand? Like, do you have it kind of in an organized pile?
Yeah, I have everything organized. Then by the end of the season, it's not. Get up at 4. Then want to be in the vehicle by 4:30 or 5. Just depends on
Where you're going.
Yeah. Get to the spot about an hour before shooting light. If you think you know where the birds are roosted, go sit not too close, but close enough to hear them. Then if you don't know where the turkey are, if you're going in there, just a new spot, just set up on a high point to hear everything.
So scouting's a big thing in turkey hunting.
Uh-huh.
Would you say it's more important in turkey hunting than in deer hunting?
No, they're both equal.
So if you want to be a successful hunter, you need to scout.
Yeah.
Go into scouting. How do you go about scouting?
I mean, it's just like sports. Just go in there. If you think they're in that spot about a month before season, you're just always, with turkey especially, go in there 30 minutes before the sun's going to go down. Listen for them to gobble on the roost. Go in there before the sun rises. Listen for them to gobble. Deer, you just drive around, figure out the fields they're eating in, or find scrapes. Set up trail cameras.
What are the top things you look for when you scout deer? You mentioned scrapes.
Scrapes, rubs, beds, drinking.
Now, what's the difference between a scrape and a rub?
A scrape.
Don't give me that look. Listen, I know we're not on camera, so you think you can get away with sly stuff like that?
A scrape is under a licking branch.
Under a what?
Licking branch.
Licking branch?
Licking branch, yeah.
Licking branch, like they lick branches.
They're
They just like the taste of trees.
No, they're marking like their area. Like if there's a buck in there, he's gonna scrape up the ground and break some branches on a tree to put their scent on it. And then a rub is use it to get their velvet off and just to mark their territory. kind of like a
Gotcha.
dog peeing on a pole, marking their territory.
So that's all a rub is, and
Yeah, and then
a
then you
rub
know
and a
there's bucks.
so that's a rub. What's a scrape?
I just told you what a scrape was. Scrapes under a branch, like under a licking branch. Just
And then
dig the
then what's a
ground
rub?
up.
Oh, so a scrape is the ground,
Scrapes when they're pawing at the ground, digging it up.
and a rub
Over a
is on the
tree.
tree.
Yeah, a rub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scrape is on the ground. Rub is in a tree. All right. I'll try and remember that. So trail cams, are trail cams a big thing with scouting?
Oh yeah. Set your trail cameras up. Figure out size deer that are in the area, what time they're coming through, if they're even in the area, how consistent they're coming through. It's all science.
Does all of that change during hunting season when they're pressured? Their
Uh,
patterns,
well, that's why you have the trail cameras.
so you can see if it changes.
So you can see if bucks are going nocturnal.
How do you know where to put a trail camera?
Well, you'll find maybe a rub, maybe a scrape near where they're eating, like their trails, just deer trails especially.
How you can tell if it's a deer trail or not?
Yeah, you see their tracks, and
It's
it's
like
a beaten down path.
a very beaten down path.
Yeah.
Um,
Some are light, some are heavy.
what was that?
Some are light, some are heavy.
Okay. Now fishing. You said you go back and forth between hunting and fishing, just whatever's available. Go dive into fishing a little bit.
Well, I only fish freshwater because I'm not rich and I can't afford to fish saltwater. And I don't have any saltwater near me. It's like none near me. The furthest saltwater is like 4 hours away.
That's the nearest saltwater?
Yeah.
Where's that? The ocean? The Atlantic Ocean?
Yeah.
What's your favorite freshwater fish to go after?
It's a tie between trout and bass.
Trout and bass. Why trout and bass?
Because trout fight hard and bass are cool because it's just how they fight and how aggressive they are. Trout and bass are really aggressive.
So it's mostly about the action.
Yeah. And it's pretty. Trout's more of a art. Fishing's an art.
How do you know how to? Well, what's the difference between fishing trout and fishing bass? Fishing different fish. There's a huge difference between the two.
Yeah. I mean, trout are in streams and moving water, and bass are pretty much everything. Ponds, lakes. And bass, you use bigger lures than you would for trout, because trout, you'll want to use like flies or spinners, mini, just little finesse stuff. Bass, you're using big hooks,
Gotcha.
big baits, make big wakes.
big baits make big wakes.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good quote right there. What would you say to people who think fishing and hunting is inhumane?
What would I say? Well, for hunting, I'd say go to the supermarket. I mean, hunting, if you're a vegetarian, I get it. Because you don't like eating meat. If you eat beef and you think hunting's inhumane, all I gotta say is look up a slaughterhouse. Hunting, I'm doing it myself. It's quick. It's completely ethical. It's clean. And I know where my food's coming from. You don't know where that beef's been. You don't know where that pork's been. I know exactly where that deer's been.
You went into ethical hunting, so break down ethical hunting.
Well, it's not like I'm leaving them out there. I'm hunting them and I'm doing it as quickly as possible for the kill. Because when let's say I shoot a deer, it's dead as soon as I hit it, pretty much. And then that's why I'm always practicing my shooting so they don't suffer. I've never tried to do anything inhumane.
So you're saying that hunting, when done right, there's no argument that it is inhumane.
That's right.
That argument is just not a strong one, is what you're saying.
It's not a strong one.
If someone still can't get behind, I guess, killing an animal or even catching a fish, what would you suggest to them to explore in the outdoors?
Shed hunting.
Shed hunting. Oh, going to shed hunting.
Well, when a buck, when gets into the summer months, summer months, they're dropping their antlers off to grow new, bigger ones. And drop their antlers off, go to the woods. Excuse me. Go find them. And then I'd also say just go outside, flip up some rocks, find earthworms.
Where
do stuff like that.
Where do you look for
Try to catch
sheds?
stuff with your bare hand. Sheds?
Yeah, where do you look for sheds?
From anywhere deer have been, like their trails, their beds, near water, their water source, near their eating source.
So you just look where they're active.
Yeah.
And hope that you find a shed, which is a deer antler.
Or it could be like any animal that has antlers. Elk, moose, deer.
A moose shed, that must be huge.
Yeah, it's still hard to find.
What do you think it feels like for a moose when they just lose that huge weight on their head?
Well, bull moose can't hear as good.
Bull moose can't hear as good?
Without their antlers, no. Because, I mean, look at an antler. It's like a paddle. Paddle's going to create echo for sound. So there's a sound like a quarter mile away, and they hear it echoing through their, it's like a big speaker. Hear it echo into their ears.
No kidding. That's pretty interesting. I did not know that. You know what I wanted to do? Is if I hunted a moose
Make a chair out of the antlers?
Yes, I wanted to put the two moose antlers together and make like a chair out of the moose antlers. I thought that would be really cool.
It'd be uncomfortable.
Yeah, when you take me on, if you take me on a moose hunt, I'm sure there's other celebrity hunters you want to get on first. I'm making a moose chair if I get a moose.
It's got to be a big one.
Yeah, I only shoot big ones.
Yeah, okay, bye. Okay.
Jump back to fishing. What's your favorite bait to use?
For what species?
Oh, let's say for bass and trout.
Bass. Double blade spinnerbait.
Double blade spinnerbait?
Or just a yum dinger.
What's a yum dinger?
Worm.
A worm? Is it hooked a special way?
No, well, you can hook it a special way. I'm just saying that's like my bait. Or are you talking how I hook it?
I'm asking what a yum dinger is.
It's a soft plastic worm.
Is Yum the brand?
Yeah.
And dinger is the type of... Okay. So a yum dinger is like a plastic worm. Do you have a preference in color?
Soft plastic. Green pumpkin with a red sparkle.
That just catches the fish. Like they... fish like bright colors?
It just depends on the water clarity. You could catch fish on a black worm, catch fish on a white, clear, chartreuse, purple, pink, blue.
Chartreuse.
Red, green, yellow,
fluorescent
orange, blue.
Chartreuse, that's fluorescent green, right?
Look it up. It's kind of like that. I don't know. I don't know how I'd describe chartreuse. It's its own color.
It's like a fluorescent lime green, maybe. Just to give the listener an idea what chartreuse is, because I did not know what it was until you mentioned it that one day.
For trout, I'd say. Does it depend? Are we using a spinning reel or are we using a fly fishing rod?
That go into each one.
Fly fishing is specifically made for a fly, which is a type of bait. So you get
a fly bait that's supposed to replicate like an actual fly flying in the air, right? Like an insect.
Well, represents an insect, or it could represent anything with a fly. Just something small like insects, bugs, stuff like that. The chug bug.
The chug bug.
Oh, that's one of the names. For a fly, I'd say a. I don't know for fly what my favorite one is, because I don't really have a favorite for flies.
Have you been out fly fishing much?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a totally different game than normal fishing?
Well, yeah. No. Yeah. Fly fishing's more finesse. Trying to get that bait on, like not on them, in front of them, and
You've got to do like a lot more work to make the bait look realistic.
kind of, yeah. And then if I'm using a spinning reel, just a Panther Martin.
For trout.
Yep.
A spinning reel for trout.
Panther Martin spinnerbait.
A Panther Martin.
Panther Martin.
Panther Martin
is the name brand on any type of their trout spinners.
Gotcha. And you said one day you mentioned that New York is the best place for
one of the best places for trout fishing.
No kidding.
We're in the heart of it.
Do you know why is that? Or why that is, excuse me.
I actually don't. I've been researching about it.
But New York is one of the top places.
One of the top dogs.
How about for bass?
Not for big ones. You want big bass, you got to go down south. When the water freezes, I mean, what do you want to do when it's cold outside? You want to go inside, you want to slow down. So the bass are going to slow down. They're going to eat smaller looking lures. Not going to be blowing up on bait. So down south, when it's no water freezing, water gets a little cold, but they're not going dormant on you.
That makes sense. You mentioned the changing seasons. What season is it now?
For what do you mean?
I mean, what season is it now?
I mean, any fish you can catch in the
No, like you look outside. What season is it?
Spring, but it's snowing.
But it is spring. This weekend was Easter. Happy Easter. I hope everyone had a great Easter. Best Easter candy is Reese's peanut butter eggs, by the way.
Yep.
But this past weekend was not only Easter weekend, it was opening day weekend for baseball. And I've got some baseball fun facts for opening weekend. Dylan, would you like to guess some of these? Or do you want me to just read them off?
I'll guess them.
You'll guess them?
Yeah.
What player had the most runs in a season?
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
That is right.
I know.
Babe Ruth in 1921 got 177 runs in 152 games. That's 1.16 runs a game. That means each game he crossed the plate. That's just insane to me. Yeah. I know those aren't anything like the Little League numbers you put up, Dylan, but that's something else.
I was a dog in Little League. Then I got too hot, so I quit.
Now, for the next one, do you want to guess the player or the number?
Number.
Sean Green holds the record for total bases in a game. Home run would be 4 bases. Triple would be 3.
7.
Double would be 2.
No. 9.
19. He went 6 for 6 that game with 2 home runs. 4 home runs, a double, and a single. How about that? That's a career game right
Pretty
there.
Good. Obviously, if it's a record.
Rennie Stennett holds the record for most hits in a 9-inning game. How many hits do you think he got?
7.
7 hits in a 9-inning game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 2 for 3. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's passing. I didn't know any of these.
Well, I do. Maybe I know.
Guess how many gloves Bert Campaneris used in one game?
7.
Plus 3. He used 10 baseball gloves, but not batting gloves, fielding gloves in one game. 10 fielding gloves. Can you imagine that? That's more than a glove an inning. What do you think happened there? Do you think he was pranking the guys, stealing their gloves?
He's being a sissy.
A sissy?
Just use your glove.
Our mom, remember, she told us the story that she used to put a sponge in-betweener glove for more padding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Don't go through 10 gloves in a game. Guess what park holds the record for most consecutive sold-out games?
Fenway Park.
Yes, Fenway Park has 794 sold-out games. That was from May 15th, 2003 to April 8th, 2013. That's nearly 10 years. 10 years of sold-out games.
It's a lot.
Business was booming at Fenway. Everyone wanted to go there to see the Green Monster. I would go to Fenway Park. I would go and just hope that the Red Sox lose. I'm a Tigers fan. God. The Tigers went undefeated this opening weekend.
So no, they didn't. They lost.
They lost today. They were the last undefeated team in the MLB this year.
Well, you can't.
Detroit strong.
You can't say they're undefeated.
Not anymore. No team is going to go 162-0.
No, the closest was 111.
Detroit did that. The closest was 111.
Mm-hmm.
We got to fact check that.
Really? I'll look it up.
I'm not positive. You're looking it up on the computer right now?
Yeah.
Most wins in a single season. You said 111?
Yeah.
I bet 124.
116.
116. What team was that?
It's tied with the Cubs and the Mariners.
And that's from MLB?
Yeah.
Like 116 wins in one season. No kidding. That's 116 wins out of 162 games. That's impressive.
Snow stopped and it's all melting.
That's nice.
I know. I hate
I don't like the mud, but it's better than the snow.
I hate snow when it's spring.
Now,
as soon as deer season's over.
I've got a couple more fun facts, but remind me, or actually I'll write it down. Okay. September 18th, 1999. Nomar Garciaparra adjusted his left batting glove how many times in a single at-bat?
74.
78. 78. That was close enough. I'll give that one to you. Man, it's almost like you've heard these facts before.
I haven't.
You're just that good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. Vince Coleman has the most consecutive successful steals with how many?
In a game or in a career?
In his career. The most consecutive successful steals. Excuse me.
17.
50.
Dang. I did better in Little League.
Yeah, were you ever thrown out in Little League?
Once, because I was going to steal second off of a walk. Nobody saw it coming. And then the mud was super muddy. And my cleat got stuck in the mud, and I faceplanted in the mud. Then got caught in them. That was the only pickle I ever got caught in. I've only been caught in a pickle once.
Tell the listener about your baseball story when did you tell the catcher he had a noodle arm? And then
in one game we were playing this team, and we were friends with everybody. And I got a walk, so I leaned over to the catcher and said he's got a noodle for an arm. And I told him I'm going to steal second, and you can't throw me out. Stole second and was safe.
But he was pretty close to throwing you out.
Close on the counts and horseshoes and hand grenades.
Did you at least give him the respect after the game? Like, hey, you don't have a noodle arm. You're not quite to slingshot level, but I'll say rubber band.
I'm not. I did not. But
no, you just told him you stole
best Little League game ever. I had 4 hits. I had a single. And I stole all the way to third. I had a double, stole third, a bomb to left field, triple. I just needed a home run to get the cycle. In Little League, I was a menace.
You didn't get the cycle?
No, I didn't. I was a menace.
No, have you ever stolen home?
Yeah. 3
Guess
times.
how many times Ty Cobb has stolen home in his career?
27.
54.
God.
He has stolen home 54 times. I thought Jackie Robinson would have the most steals of home plate,
He was
but
second.
it was Ty Cobb. I don't know if he was second.
Let me look it up.
Back to Google.
Keep the
Look up
listener.
rankings of who stole home plate. And then that's all for the opening weekend fun facts until next year.
Jackie Robinson is 10th.
10th. That's still
Well,
impressive.
tied with 9th.
That's still impressive. But the question I wrote down for you to ask later, fishing. How does weather affect fishing?
Well, summer months if it's raining, top water.
If it's raining, top water.
I like my favorite time to fish is a sprinkle into a nice sunny day. And clear water. The brighter colored baits, darker water, darker colored baits.
Okay, that's easier to remember. So you mentioned topwater baits. We got to talk about the topwater frog.
It's okay if there's lily pads.
I think that is a top tier.
You can throw it on
bait.
open water near docks, but near shore.
It's got to be near some coverage, is what you're saying.
Technically, yes, but you can do it on just any bank.
Okay.
I have this one pond that I fish. It's really nice because it has like a little inlet. Toss a frog down in there, you're gonna slam. Yeah.
So back to your YouTubing channel. What message do you want to send with your YouTube channel?
You can make any dream come through as long as you keep trying and never giving up. No matter how hard life gets, you can always keep going. How
are you going to show that message in your YouTube channel?
I'm going to get 1 million followers.
That's what you're going to do? 1 million followers?
Over 1 million.
Over 1 million followers.
That's right.
And what do you think the best way to get 1 million followers is?
Best way? You just keep it on, really.
Like keep producing,
posting,
keep making
producing, which I've been struggling at just because of the cold weather. But
what's the next video you're thinking of posting?
It's a secret.
It's a secret?
But I do have one big video coming out this summer. All I gotta say is a rowboat. That's it.
That's all you gotta say is rowboat.
All I gotta say is rowboat DIY.
Stay tuned. Dylan Smith Outdoors. Rowboat DIY coming to you this summer. Stay tuned for that. While you're staying tuned, go ahead and check out Dylan Smith Outdoors.
Yeah,
it's pretty entertaining. Mostly about the outdoors and hunting. You've done a video on turkey calls, correct?
Yeah. So hunting.
So what's the best turkey call to use?
Depends. I like a mouth call just because I can use it wherever, whenever. Are you saying what kind of call or what kind of call to use or what kind of call to make?
Both.
Call to use. Bone Collectors, Georgia Peach. Mouth call. Call to make. Yelp to a purr.
Yelp to a purr.
Yelp cut purr. Yelp cut purr.
What does that mean to a turkey?
I yelp. 3 minutes later, I do a couple cuts. To a yelp. Done. This bird's still hung up. Give him some time. You know, keep them on their toes. Then hit a purr because that means I'm gonna stay right here. What'd you ask?
So, like what you just said, the purr
Yelp
means...
is where are you? Because I'm right here, and it's a hen. A cut is just like
getting attention.
Yeah, like what's up? Like sup. Like
that's crazy. He has no mouth call. He's doing that.
That's a yelp, and then a purr would be like purr to a cut.
noises he can make with his mouth is, we'll say,
Unbelievable.
crazy, unbelievable, animalistic, just to throw some adjectives out there. Now, you're on YouTube. And you have a podcast?
I haven't posted on the podcast in a while.
That podcast is
I
called
eventually will. Dylan Smith Outdoor Podcast.
Dylan Smith Outdoor Podcast. That is on Spotify. Check that out. That is hilarious. Now, the Dylan Smith Outdoor Podcast, what do you talk about on that? Just anything?
All I gotta say is anything and then some.
Anything and then some. Is that in your description?
No.
I
thought about putting it in there.
You should put it in your description. That's pretty good. It keeps the audience wondering. But yes, you do a lot of hot takes.
Yeah, a ton of hot takes.
Now, do you prefer podcasts or YouTube?
I like talking to a camera.
You prefer
podcasts are okay, but I love people seeing me.
Have you thought about video podcasts?
Work in progress.
Work in progress. Keep posted for that. Would you put that on your YouTube channel, I'm assuming?
YouTube and Spotify.
YouTube and Spotify. So I would just stay tuned on Dylan Smith Outdoors on YouTube. He's got plenty more coming. He's just waiting for the weather. There's not much you can really do when the weather isn't cooperating, is there?
No, so I might just do a cooking video.
Just a lot of... You can do cooking, probably calls. Well, mom and dad.
Going through my bag.
And I don't really... And going through your bag. Mm-hmm. Yes, organization is an underrated trait to have for hunting. Wouldn't you say?
C.
That's interesting that you prefer podcast over, or excuse me, you prefer YouTube over podcast, because I do not like being on camera.
Love it.
You love it? You feel like you thrive when the camera's on you?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I shut down. This is easier for me when they can't see me. When the listener can't see me. But that's just me.
Different people do different things.
Tell us about your popular nicknames.
Dilly Dog, Dill Pickle. Literally, if I'm playing basketball, the Problem Child.
The Problem Child? I've never heard the Problem Child. I've heard the GOAT.
The GOAT, MJ, Steph Curry, MJ.
Chef Curry.
The Chef. The King.
They call him anything on the basketball court. He makes it rain.
I make it rain.
Speaking of basketball, best player to use in 2K.
Michael Jordan. Greatest of all time.
Michael Jordan.
LeBron's not even on my top 10.
He's not on your top 10?
He's on my top 15. No, he's on my top 10.
Give us your top 5.
Number 1, Michael Jordan. Number 2, Larry Bird. Number 3, Magic Johnson. Number 4, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 5...
You got to put Wilt top 5.
Wilt Chamberlain.
You got to put Wilt Chamberlain top 5. I don't think Wilt Chamberlain gets enough respect. That man's crazy. But obviously, Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Obviously. LeBron James is good, but he'll never be the best.
He ain't Michael Jordan.
Same season, winter season, but talk about wrestling. Going to wrestling.
Well, Alabama's taking March Madness, though.
Oh, hold on.
Put
wrestling on hold. March Madness talk.
March Madness for men's, Alabama. March Madness for women, Iowa.
You think Caitlin Clark's taking it all?
Yep.
I hope so.
Knocked out LSU.
NC State is still in it for the men's, right?
Yeah.
Or are they the 11th
and women's
seed? And women's, yeah. Right? They've got a good basketball program.
Yeah,
it's impressive. March Madness brackets were crazy this year.
Yeah,
crazy. I'm glad I didn't even try and predict it or anything.
I would have
been lost. Well, you would have had Alabama in the finals, so you'd be doing pretty good so
and
far.
Iowa.
All right, now we're good to talk about wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about it. Tell the listener about wrestling. Anything you want. What's the biggest thing about wrestling that you want?
Only sport I
the
do.
Listener to know.
Hate being on bottom.
But why?
So
Jordan Burroughs said
so
that
stupid.
Jordan Burroughs said that choosing bottom is like the free throw of wrestling. You're supposed to get out and get a free point.
Not when you're like good at top. Top's my favorite. Then neutral, then bottom.
You also like when people are on your leg.
I love it
Correct.
when people shoot in on
You're
me.
a funky wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unorthodox is a
Beat you in the funk.
unorthodox
I
is
did,
the.
didn't I?
Are you gonna let me finish?
Go ahead.
Unorthodox is the descriptive word for Dylan's wrestling style. It's
You
fun
don't know
to
what
watch
I'm gonna
him.
do.
He's
I hit Granby's on bottom.
the sequences he puts together.
You want to
are
hear my only
crazy.
move on bottom? Granby to a funk roll.
Granby to a funk roll. That's your favorite sequence on
Or
bottom.
a switch. Switch to Granby
Or
to
the
funk
switch
roll.
is good to hit.
Why score 1 when you can score 2?
Now, you mentioned your favorite position. We hit on your style. How about conditioning?
It's the greatest condition. Second greatest condition sport.
What do you think the first?
Swimming.
Swimming. Yes. You need to be very well conditioned for swimming.
Most mental tough sports wrestling though.
Why do you think so?
It's just mental.
I agree with you, but why
Can't
do you
really.
think so?
It's hard to explain. Do it and you'll feel what I'm saying.
The nerves are insane, and it's something you can't really explain. On top of that, you've got to stay disciplined with your diet. Something very similar would be MMA. I'm assuming boxing, maybe.
Yeah. MMA is pretty cool.
It's really some wrestling.
You want to hear my top 5 MMA fighters of all time?
Real quick.
Oh.
Wrestling's that's like a controlled fight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Even though you're not punching, it's just grappling. You're not supposed to punch.
Well,
you're not supposed to punch, but yes.
All I gotta say is counties.
You
all I gotta
you
say.
were caught in a ringer at counties. That was, yeah.
Yeah.
But
all I gotta say is, okay, Raffin should not have gotten a point taken away from me. I was not the one who threw the punch. Let everybody know.
Dylan did not throw the punch.
I did throw the shove at the end. I did not do the punching or the dive in on somebody's head trying to break their neck. I did not do that. It was done to me.
No, legal fighting, MMA. What's your top 5?
Top 5?
MMA?
Number 1. I'll do from 5 up.
5 up. Number 5.
5th place? 5th place would be... He's a redhead. Bo Nickel. 4th,
already? He hasn't even won the belt
place.
yet.
4th place, Sean Strickland.
I love Sean,
Third's John Jones.
at 3.
2nd is Conor McGregor. No, 2nd's Khabib. Number 1's Conor McGregor.
Respectfully, that list is atrocious.
Give me your top 5 then.
Number 1, I have to say John Jones. Just because he's a pure
Not
athlete.
Khabib?
John Jones didn't have to train, and he did amazing. He was out partying every weekend.
Okay.
Doing who knows what. And he came in and dominated. He was a double champ too.
Next,
number 2.
is Conor on your list?
No,
Get out of here.
I don't think so.
Okay, who's number 2? Khabib.
Number 2,
You're probably gonna...
I put GSP over Khabib.
Are you crazy?
No,
Why would you put GSP over Khabib?
maybe it's just because I'm biased. I love GSP. George St. Pierre. He was just dominant. Khabib's 3.
Wow, that's kind of just. Has Khabib ever lost?
No.
Has GSP ever lost?
Yes.
That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Hey,
Quit hating.
has Khabib ever turned down a fight?
I don't know.
Has George St. Pierre?
I don't know.
Answer's yes. Anderson Silva he turned down.
Well, they were 2
Next.
different weight classes. Next. How about Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse?
He's in my top 10.
And then 5.
Sean
I really want to put Chael Sonnen at 5, but I've got to put Anderson Silva over.
Anderson
I'll put
Silva's in
Anderson
my
Silva
top
at
10.
5. But honorable mention is Chael Sonnen,
Chael Sonnen, the American gangster.
the American
Had a
gangster,
hard life.
straight out from the hard streets of Oregon.
That's right.
That
Had
guy.
people litter in front
Everyone
of him.
throws around the word menace. Chael Sonnen is a true menace. The
Get outta
American
here.
gangster.
Get out of here.
He's a menace.
He's not in my
Oh.
top 10.
No. Well, you're.
He ever won
you're
about?
a hater.
He ever won about?
No, he was close.
Rest my case. Bo Nickel ever won about? No. He's about to. Undefeated so far, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But back to wrestling. Back to the controlled fights, not the actual cage fights. First mention the KD6 wrestling room.
Callum Devlin's the GOAT. Best training facility in New York right now. Next question.
Next, so you mentioned KD6 best room in New York State. Let's conditioning. You mentioned that. Here we go. This is something to end on, because this is how Dylan Smith lives his life.
Fast lane, take chances.
I was thinking more. You always say you're
Hate us
either
because they ain't us.
that too, but you always say you're either the dog or the bone.
You're either the dog or the bone. World full of bones, be the dog.
Explain what that means to the sane people listening to my podcast.
All I gotta
To
say
the sane
is,
listener,
dog likes bones. Dog tears apart bones. If you're a dog in this world, you're just gonna tear.
so
apart
you're saying
everybody.
there's the bones. Let's say are opportunities. There's tons of opportunities out
Bones
there.
are opportunities, and then you want to be a dog and jump at opportunities.
So when you're watching Dylan Smith Outdoors, listening to Dylan Smith Outdoors podcast,
All I gotta
or
say
you
is,
see,
last video got 350 views. I just checked on YouTube.
that's impressive.
Compared to all my other videos, it's impressive.
Or you see Dylan Smith in the hallway, and he tells you you're either the dog or the bone. Be the dog and capture your opportunities.
That's right. Praise.
That's right.
Praise God.
Anything else to say?
Live, laugh, love, and praise God. That's all I gotta
Well,
say.
Dylan, you're an inspiration. You're a true inspiration.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on my podcast. Good luck on your
course.
YouTube channel. And check out the Dylan Smith Outdoors YouTube channel. On Spotify, Dylan Smith Outdoors podcast. Of course, keep checking out my episode on the Derek Smith Spiel on Spotify. If you need your lawn done, call Greenwood Ecologics at 585-739-1610. I repeat, 585-739-1610. Thanks for listening.